he's a fan in a regular seat. And the second the stadium speakers play his own song, he's on his feet conducting an entire section, like he's done it 100 times. 40,000 strangers who weren't alive when this song came out know every word back at him instantly. Stephen Ray Perry was born on January 22, 1949, in Hanford, California. He joined Journey in 1977 almost by accident after the band heard a demo tape and tracked him down before their original singer had even officially left. Within 4 years, he'd turned a moderately successful jazz fusion band into one of the biggest acts in America. Today we're going through the moments that show who he actually is underneath that voice. The guy who can't stop laughing, can't stop showing up uninvited, and somehow makes Effortless look like a skill you can study. This was supposed to be the most emotionally loaded night of his career, the first time he'd shared a stage with his old band in over a decade. Sean couldn't sit still through it, and Perry spent half the ceremony laughing instead of looking solemn. That same ease shows up the moment people try to break down what actually makes his voice work.
Up and down the boulevard, there's shadows searching in the night.
Then he goes back to a really light sound, right?
Street lights, people.
Strip the instruments away, and what's left isn't a man straining for high notes. It's a guy who sounds like he's just talking, 2 octaves higher than anyone else would attempt it. A second coach, working completely independently, lands on the exact same word.
And this vocal shows it. When it's in the context of the song, I think it all comes together, and it sounds like he's really laying into his voice. At least that's how I remember it. But when we isolate it, it's just so very smooth and relaxed. Let's hear that again.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Just beautiful.
Different coach, different channel, same conclusion. Effortless. Not powerful first, effortless first, then everything else follows. Even reaction channels with no technical training land on the same word the second they hear the isolated track.
Just a city boy, born and raised right here in Houston.
Right here in Houston.
No vocal jargon this time, just someone hearing the isolated track for the first time and visibly struggling to process it. 3 completely separate channels, 3 completely separate audiences, all arriving at the same reaction. What almost nobody clocks is that the song behind all that analysis wasn't written the hard way either.
It came from my dad. In the book, I go pretty into detail about, a dark moment in my life where am I doing the right thing, starving in Hollywood, and, just rejection and promised rejection. And then finally, asking my dad, should I come home and give this dream up, And he always prophesied over me that I was to be destined for greatness, in music. He said, no, don't stop believing, John. And so I had a little spiral notebook, and I wrote down that phrase, and it was my mantra for all those years, of I better not stop believing. My dad will be mad,
Kane had kept that phrase in his pocket for years. He mentioned it once, almost in passing, and Perry turned it into the most digitally purchased song of the 20th century before anyone in the room realized what they'd just finished. Kane still gets asked about that origin story everywhere he goes, including at his own book signings.
This memoir of mine, Don't Stop Believing, if you want to go to jonathancanebook.com, you'll see how to, participate in this. It's pretty cool. When I first heard about it, I thought, wow, I want to share this with the fans, especially the ones that live out in Fond du Lac.
Decades later, total strangers are still lining up just to hear him tell the same story one more time, and he never seems to tire of it. That's the kind of pull this one song still has. The pull crossed the entire country in 2005, landing somewhere nobody expected.
Ready? I don't know the word.
I want to hear this, Chicago.
Yeah, we want to hear Chicago too.
I want to hear Chicago all around town. You guys ready?
Yeah!
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. Come on. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Yeah.
A team with nothing to do with California adopted his song as their own anthem, flew him out, and didn't need to coach him on the moment at all. He just sang, and the whole crowd already knew it cold. 9 years later, he proved the same ease hadn't gone anywhere, even after disappearing from every stage in America. Nobody in that theater knew it was coming, including most of the band. He hadn't sung in public since 1995, and he steps out like he never left. 2.5 weeks later, he did it again, in a different city with the same band.
She was only 16. Only 16. Oh, I loved her so. Ooh, she was too young to fall in love.
3 shows, 3 cities, 19 years of silence broken inside of 3 weeks, and he never once announced any of it ahead of time. He just kept showing up. What he never explained in the moment is why he'd stayed away that long in the first place.
Tired of touring. I kind of had almost a bit of PTSD from how hard we used to work, to be honest with you. So the only answer really was for me to stop. I could feel it. There was an emptiness in my soul with my passion for music that I had when I was a child very early on that was starting to go away. And it wasn't like we were talking about such things. You know, the group back in those days didn't say, so how you feeling? How's your feelings? Nobody was doing that. We were just rocking. So it kind of just caught up to me, and all of a sudden it hit me that I had to just stop.
He says plainly that he lost his passion for the thing that built his whole identity and didn't know if it would ever return. What actually pulled him back was losing his girlfriend, Kelly Nash, to cancer in 2012. He started writing again, quietly, with no plan to release any of it. That quiet writing eventually became something the world hadn't seen from him in a quarter century. He's behind the wheel of a 1970 Chevelle, cruising the same Hollywood streets he used to walk as a kid trying to make it. No stadium, no crowd, just a camera catching him quietly proving he still had something left to say. And 2 years before that comeback even started, there was one more night with his old band that almost nobody planned for. He laughed through the ceremony, thanked his replacement singer by name in front of millions watching at home, hugged his old bandmate like no time had passed at all. Then he walked off without singing a single note with them, keeping the one thing everybody in that building wanted entirely to himself. That's been the pattern for almost 50 years now. He shows up, makes the room lighter than he found it, and leaves before anyone gets exactly what they came for. Somehow that only makes people want it more.